Data frames are the most widely used data structures in pandas. Data frames is in the form of rows and columns. So when it comes to data analysis, a significant amount of work goes in analyzing the structured data. Structured data are generally in tabular format, which is they have multiple rows and columns, and in this situation pandas data frame comes very handy. For this demo I am going to use Jupyter Notebook. I am using Jupyter Notebook because it's excellent in visualizing the data. So here we are going to read this file and store it in a data frame. This file has first name, age, experience and salary. So this is a randomly generated data set and it is in the XLS format. So I am going to read this data, store it in a data frame, and from there on we are going to check out some of the basic things that we can do with the data frame. Stay tuned. I have imported pandas as PD in the first line, and then I am using the function read_excel, and I am passing the file location along with the file name as parameter to the function, and this function actually reads the file, the content of the file, and then it stores it in the data frame. So the file that I have stored, employee info, it is present in the same folder of my code. So I have not explicitly mentioned the path, but if the file is stored somewhere else, then I should have explicitly mentioned the entire path of the file. And once this function is executed, then the content of the file would be stored in data frame. So this is a Excel, and so I have used the function read_excel. Pandas support different file format. So if it would have been a CSV, I should have used read_CSV, or if it is a SQL, I should have used read_SQL, and similarly for the remaining file formats. So once I do it, I can use the method df.head and I can see how the data looks like. So I am running this piece of code, and in order to do that in Jupyter, I am using the command shift and then pressing enter. So df.head method returns few rows, the top 5 rows of the data in the data frame. I can also use df.head and then I can just pass a parameter, and if I'm just going to pass a parameter as 3, then I would be getting the top 3 rows from the data frame. Similarly, when I wanted to check out the bottom 5 rows, then I can use .tail and it would give me the bottom 5 rows of the data frame. As you can see in the output of all these methods like df.head and df.tail, the output is actually auto-indexed. So it is starting with the index from 0 and then it is getting incremented by 1 for each rows. So if we see our file, it has actually 10 rows, and then there is a heading for each of these columns. So the indexing starts from 0 and then it will be passing through 9. So coming back, if I wanted to know the shape of this data frame, I can use the method df.shape. So this has not worked actually, it has thrown an error. This is because df.shape is the attribute of a data frame. Unlike df.head or df.tail, which goes with a bracket, these df.head and df.tails are methods, and it is used to do something with the data frame. So it can either fetch the data from a data frame or it can do some modifications to the data frame. But df.shape is the attribute of a data frame, and it does not needs a bracket. So now if I run it again, I get 10, 4, where 10 is the total number of rows in the data frame and 4 is the total number of columns in the data frame. If I have to know the technical details of the data frame, then I can use the method df.info. So this method gives more technical details pertinent to the data frame. It tells that df is a data frame and then it has totally 10 entries which are indexed from 0 to 9, and it also shows the data type of each of these columns along with the column names and the index. So it shows that in the index 0, first name is there and the data type is object. In pandas, object is considered as a string and age is having index 1 and it is having the data type of float. Experience is having index 2 and it's having data type of float again, and salary is having index of 3 and it's having the data type of integer. So it also lists all the data types that are there as part of this data frame, and it also just shows how many memory is used as part of this data frame. If I wanted to get specific information about the columns of the data frame, then I can use the attribute df.column. So here it shows that these are the columns where first name, age, experience and salary are present, and all of them are of data type object. If I wanted to get the values from specific columns, then I can get it by mentioning the column names. So here if I wanted to get the age, then I can just mention it as df.age. So age is a property of a data frame and it has these values in it. I can also get the value of age by mentioning the column names in bracket as I am doing it in here. So if I just run this, I will be able to get the value of age, and I can also give more values by mentioning different column names in the same format. Now I want to have the first name, and then I wanted to also get the age. So if I wanted to have more than one columns, then this particular syntax is going to be useful. Here I have just mentioned a dot by mistake. Now it should work. So here in this data frame, I am able to extract the values from the first name and the age columns, and likewise I can also extract different values. So when the column name is having a space in between them, then it would be better to use this particular syntax by mentioning the column name within the bracket rather than just mentioning this like df dot the column name, because when the column name is having space in between it, then this particular syntax will not work, whereas this syntax will work. Now obviously in such a data frame, I would be interested to know the maximum salary. So I can just use the same command and then get the values from salary, and I can use max. So when I run this, I get 180,294, around 180k and 29400, which is the maximum salary. And I would also like to know the average age of the working group. So in order to get that, I can select the age, and then on top of that I can give mean so that I get the average age. So here in the data frame, the average age of the working group is 40.9. So likewise I can also use minimum to find the minimum value of certain columns that we are interested in. And overall, if I wanted to know more of the statistics around numeric columns in the data frame, then I can use df.describe. This df.describe method, it actually gives the statistics around all the columns in the data frame which are having numeric values. So here the first name is not numeric, so it is not displayed, and age, experience and salary, these are having numeric values, and the statistics around it is displayed below. It shows that all these columns are having totally 10 entries, which is indicated in the count, and it shows the mean of each of these columns. As we have seen before, the mean of age is 40.98, which we have seen here before, and the mean of experience or the average experience is 12.74, and the average salary is 106,028.4. So it also shows the standard deviation of each of these columns. It also shows the minimum value of each of these columns, the maximum value of each of these columns, and it also shows the percentiles of each of these columns. So this 25, 50 and 75, these are all percentiles, and it is mentioned for all these columns which are having numeric values. Now I am going to display the data frame again just for a reference, and it has all the columns as we have seen before, and it is auto indexed from 0 to 9. I wanted to change the index to the first name, so I wanted the first name to be the index of this data frame. In order to do that, I can use the function df.set_index, and within set_index I can give the name of the column that needs to be considered as the index. So I am giving first name, and if I run this, then first name is now displayed as the index. So this change is not permanent, because when I display the data frame again, I can see that the first name is not coming as the index, but again it is having the same old integer index. So this temporarily sets the column name as index, and if I wanted to make the change permanent and store it within the same name of a data frame df, then I need to use in place equal to true here. So when I do this, and when I display the data frame again, then I should be able to see the first name as the index over here, and I can just use different commands now to select different rows within this data frame. So for that I can use either LOC or ILOC. I wanted to just select this particular row which has Patrick as the index. I can do that with df.loc, and here I just wanted to get the values corresponding to the index Patrick, and if I run this, I am able to get the age as 34.86, experience as 12.02, and salary 72,305, which is corresponding to Patrick. And if I wanted to slice all the rows from the beginning until Patrick, then I can just use df.loc, and then I can just use this particular syntax wherein I wanted to have all the rows from the beginning, and then I wanted it until Patrick. So here I can just give the index name as Patrick, and when I run this, I would be getting all the rows: Louis, Brenda, Diane, Benjamin and Patrick. So when I wanted to just get all the rows after Patrick, then I can just use the same format or syntax, but here I just wanted to begin from Patrick and then I wanted to go until the end. So I am just placing the colon after Patrick, and I am executing the code. Here you can see the entries from Patrick and then all up to Ralph, which is the second part of the data frame. I can also dice particular set of rows within this. So in order to do that, I can just use the same LOC, df.loc, and then I can just give what index from where I wanted to start. So I wanted to have rows from Diane, and I wanted to have rows until Carol. Now when I run this, I would be getting the rows which are in between Diane and Carol, inclusive of both. I can also use ILOC to do the same functionality, but I can just use the ILOC to refer the integer index. Say for example, I can use df.iloc to get the rows from the beginning until the row 5 or until the index 5. So when I just run this piece of code, I can just get the rows with index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I can use ILOC, which stands for integer LOC, to extract specific rows or specific set of rows that I need from the data frame. So now I can also store this data frame into a different name, and then I can just display this. So data frame 1 is going to have the first 5 rows from the original data frame we had, and it is going to have the index as first name. So now I wanted to store this in a different file, and in order to do that I can use to_csv, and then I can give a file name employee info csv.csv, and I wanted to store the content of df1 to employee info cfv. So this would get stored in a CSV file. I am executing this. This has run. I am going back to the folder, and I can see employee info CSV is now created. Let me just open this up. Yeah, so it has opened, and here I can see the name on the top, employee info CSV, and I can also see that it is having only the first 5 rows that we have selected in data frame 1. I'll just minimize it for better readability. So now you can see that the first set of rows that we have selected from the .xls format is now stored into the CSV format in a different file. So these are some of the basic things that we can do with the data frame. There are much more, and that would be present in my subsequent videos. If you like my channel, please subscribe to it for more such videos. Thank you very much.